Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, non-binaries of all ages, welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG. I hope you're not here to learn to do regular character creation, because this is a cat creation podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Joel Holland.
I am another one of your hosts, Austin Irwin.
Welcome back, Austin. Nice to have you after last week.
Yeah, it's good to be back. It was really weird not being on an episode, because you kind of just disappear from reality, you know?
Yeah.
Magically got zapped back in today, so figured it was time.
It happens to some people.
So, last week, were you flying solo, or just...
Oh, no, Greg was there.
Oh, right. But today, it's just us two, right?
Oh, no, Julian's here.
Oh.
Hello.
Howdy, Julian.
I'm, Julian Kay, author of the Mutant Animal RPG Mutants in the Now.
Welcome to How to Make a Literal Cat in Your Favorite RPG, the show where we do what the title says.
And I was thinking it would be a easy layup, all things considered, though there is one sticking point, and I'm sure we'll get to that.
Is it about the mutations?
It would be about the random character creation.
Oh, yeah, we might have to not randomize it.
It's up to you.
Well, we'll worry about that when we get there. Julian, would you like to tell our audience a little bit about yourself, your podcasting and or TTRPG experience, or whatever?
Yeah, I've been playing probably dozens or running dozens of games for about the past 30 years. I got started with a bunch of little indie games, and about 2.5 years ago, there's somebody made a throwaway tweet about updating the Ninja Turtles RPG because it would in theory be simple. Turns out I'm too much of a tinkerer. I wanted to do Zine Quest that year, which was a Kickstarter initiative for small RPGs, and I was like, I had about 2 weeks of preparation before the Kickstarter. When I decided to do this, so I just rushed. I got a guy I knew from a previous job to help out with the art, and so I went there with rough pictures of what the art would be, and we made about 4,000. And that at that point I didn't. The big thing is I'm such a tinkerer that I was just like, oh no, I want to modernize this. Looking back at some of the old combat rules and whatnot, and kind of going, I want to make something that's a little more engaging than kind of what I often call rock'em sock'em combat, where you're just rolling dice and swinging back and forth until somebody falls over. About last year, I decided to go for the first expansion. Had a lot more word of mouth out there, and was able to get about 30,000 and invite artists like Sophie Campbell and Fabio Fontes and Darren Calvert, and get writers like Ellen Clooney and Crystal Fraser help me out. So it ended up being a lot more of a group effort. And I'm just continuing to focus on building it up, along with occasionally throwing out one of my little indie RPGs, which are the thing that wins awards, and then Turtles or Mutants pays the bills. So
nice. Well, we're glad to have your expertise on here, especially since you made this game.
Yep.
So before we get into the actual character creation, we have something that we need to take care of, and that is our show has to live by some rules. We don't usually live by the rules of the games that we cover. We stick pretty close, but if we have to break them, then we will. But the show has some hard and fast rules that we do not stray from. Austin and I will read those off for your convenience right now. Yep. So rule number 1, we accept no cop-outs. We are about to make a cat. We're making the exact animal that comes to mind when I say the word. No anthropomorphic, humanoid type cat races. No people turned into cats. No lions, tigers, or any other cop-out that you could imagine. It's a cat.
Just a plain old cat. While we're looking over these games, we cannot use homebrew or house rules. If the rules in the rule book do not explicitly allow something to happen, we count it as a rule broken. And rules as written versus rules as intended, we go with whichever one kind of tells us, hey, you can't do that.
Yep. If the game includes stats for a literal cat, those must be used or adapted to the game's character sheet. This is not a thing that comes up very often, but we're prepared.
Julian, is there a cat character sheet?
Are you talking about like a cat stat block?
Yeah.
Like a stat block for a cat that has not been mutated.
There is not as of yet. What I have in my kind of back pocket, it's not in any of the books yet, I do have some rules for creating cats, creating animals based on the stat blocks for animals in the game, but those have not been publicly released yet.
Oh, gotcha.
It sounds like we may break some rules in this episode, but they may retroactively be unbroken.
Yeah, possibly at some point, because that would be a lot to dig out. But it sounds like you're looking for to probably just go along like the animal-born mutant rules, and you can kind of avoid a lot of the things that you would expect outside of. I think the only thing that's gonna be that you can't really avoid with that is like a human level intellect, but that depends on what you roll. You could roll really badly on that.
Understandable.
Or switch it around for one that's rolled badly.
Yep.
We will get to that. Just had to, double check our sources for cat stats. But our next rule up is rule number 4. The character, class, background, playbook, job, what have you, must exist in the game's core rules or as part of an official expansion. We can't use homebrew classes, yet again. Homebrew isn't real, and it can't hurt you.
So, just for clarity, we've said in games where, everyone's an angel, that our cat was also an angel. We used some convoluted logic to say, they died, went to heaven, and came back to Earth so that they could play the game. But it did start out as a literal cat, so it counts. So if the character classes in this game are all mutant, then we can have a mutant cat, technically.
Yeah. The only non-humans right now are mutants. I've definitely toyed around with the idea of non-mutated animal characters, because I try and take a positive view of animals in this game and try not to, think of them as without agency. But
yeah,
I think if you can play a dragon or a vampire, you can probably play a cat.
Yeah, sounds about right. Rule number 5 is the cat can learn any skill available to its class, even if it's not something a cat could normally be trained to do.
Rule number 6 is, if a tool would be physically impossible for a literal cat to use, even comically downsized for them, they cannot use it. There's so many examples that I can't even pinpoint one down right now.
Sniper rifle.
Sniper rifle, correct.
And rule number 7, if a character sheet has a section that's meant to be filled out in collaboration with the whole table, we will leave that blank so potential players can make it fit the group that they're playing with.
And finally, our last rule is that we have to keep track of every rule that we break. So at the end, we'll tell you how many, and if you're playing this game with some friends and somebody's running it and you want to play this character, you can be like, look, you only have to break 17 rules to play this. It's usually not that many.
No, even when we did D&D, it was, 3 rules? And one of those was just, we're ignoring the weight limits.
Yeah.
Which is a thing that, as I understand it, most people do anyway.
Correct. I think I've ever heard of anybody playing a TTRPG in general with weight limits.
I mean, there are people who, actually like that. Otherwise, Minecraft wouldn't exist, but...
Are you talking about encumbrance with that?
Yeah, that's the thing.
I've run with encumbrance, but I'm a weirdo in that way. I also sometimes run low strength characters, and I feel like being honest about that. So
to each their own.
Uh-huh.
But anyway, that's all of our rules, so we can go ahead and get to work.
All right. So it sounds like from your rules that you'll probably be avoiding most of the optional systems in next, like the humans becoming an animal, the wild mutations, that sort of thing. Where it sounds like we're going straight out of the core book with this.
Probably. No Hamato Yoshi situations here.
Nope. Of course, depending on the continuity, it gets...
Yeah, he's either Hamato Yoshi or just trained by him. Don't ask me how I know that. I don't watch that much Ninja Turtles.
Yeah, I have... Thanks to my research in this and watching other stuff, but I have probably gone through just about everything except for the original 87. I've only gone through 3 seasons of.
Let's see, where to begin?
Page 8 in the PDF.
Step 1, getting together. As a group, have the players decide what type of group of mutants they want to play. This determines how takebacks are distributed in Step 2 and whether you share roles in Step 3 for background and species. Well, this has been a great episode.
I think you are a group of one can make and don't need to worry about the group elements.
Yeah, we have to skip those.
Cats walk alone. It's not solely true, but so you'd probably be going just along like what would be if group is referred to, probably sounds like a diverse group.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
That way everyone else can be not just a literal cat. All right, so step 2 is cursing your dice. Okay, I'm sorry. We should get through step 1 first. If there's anything else here, or are we just? It's just diverse group, and then we move on.
You just be a diverse group, and then you move on.
All right, so yeah, step 2 is cursing your dice. Character creation involves many random rolls, some of which may give unsatisfactory results. To assist, you can spend takebacks in the following ways before applying any bonuses or penalties. Is this a character creation thing?
Yeah. Generally, when you're doing random rolls, you will get a certain number of takebacks where you can re-roll or do other adjustments to the roll as detailed. And this generally determines how many you get. And it lists here, if playing as a diverse group, each player gains 4 takebacks. So you just gain 4. Rest you don't directly need to worry about at the moment.
So the spending instructions, we don't have to worry about that yet, it sounds like.
Not just yet. It will mainly matter in step 3 that we'll be getting to soon. You'll note the where it says re-roll a tribute or add a roll. And also in later ones, you can use it to re-roll any percentile roll you're making, like for background or the
Gotcha.
like. Or flip it, which is if like you roll a 12, you can flip it around to a 21, a 38 can be an 83, so on and so forth.
Oh, neat.
So you said we get 4.
Yeah.
Okay. And that means we're ready then for step 3, which is where we determine our stats.
Yep. Yeah, the only other thing I'd mention is there's a section about like marking skills or attributes, and just right now all you need to know from that is just if you are instructed to do so.
Okay. So we're good at rolling 4d6 8 times.
Oh, I think I might bust out the Google rolls for this.
That's fine.
Unless you guys want to be here for 15 extra minutes.
Nope, that's fine.
I've only got 2 on my desk, so...
First roll is a 13.
And that's 1516 if it matters, or...
Yeah, it does then the exact die amounts, just only the total matters, I should say.
Okay. Our stats are in order: cognition, determination, affinity, perception, strength, prowess, endurance, and speed. So this would be our cognition.
Yes.
Okay.
Next, got another 13.
13.
Our determination is the same as our cognition. Third roll, 12.
12.
Oh, good. Really shaking it up over here. So 12 for affinity, a 6 for perception. Man.
We noticed nothing.
Yeah, dang. It was a 3 1s and a 3. Alright, up next, a 15. Okay, so we're pretty strong. 15 strength.
Very
That's
strong.
our highest stat.
So far.
So far, correct. Another 12 for prowess. Next we have endurance, which will be a 14. And then finally we have our speed, which will be 14 again.
Nice.
Man, that 6 is just such an outlier.
So we can either re-roll that, it sounds like, and spend one of our takebacks, or we could just be clueless.
Yeah, you can do 2 things with your takebacks here, really. One is re-roll an attribute, and the other is to add a roll of 1d6 to an attribute and subtract it from another. And when you do so, that marks that attribute. So you can only do this to an unmarked attribute. So you basically can't do it multiple times to one attribute. But
Gotcha.
Here's the thing. Do we want to spend a take-back already, or do we want to push forward?
I'm cool with being clueless. I can relate to that.
Me too, Joel. I think we'll be fine at being clueless, you know?
How important is perception in this game?
Just about as important as any other game, really. I think it might affect your ability to do like ranged attacks amongst some other things, like some psionic stuff. But for a cat, that may be a little academic. It's hard to say. Of course, getting jumped by a dog is its own problem. So,
I mean, do we really have any? Do cats normally have ranged attacks?
I mean, not normally, no.
Okay, I think we'll be okay.
I think we'll be all right. You know, if we end up having a take back left later.
Yeah, that sounds good.
And for this, you're writing down as it says, for your step, write down only your attribute value and the GUP modifier, and you'll find that modifier on the next page. Essentially, you're taking all your attributes and totaling up the values there. So 14 will get you +6, a 13 will get you +7, and you're just adding all that up for all 8 attributes. And that's where 6 will actually come in handy, because it gives you a lot to play around with during the mutation. Don't worry about the rest yet, because the base attribute may be modified, but the GUP remains the same no matter what.
So for every 13, we get +7, right?
Is that what it says?
12 gives us 8.
There we go.
6 gives us 14.
But yeah, that's the kind of middle ground between having that kind of old school rolling and trying to give it something of a balance to it.
So if I have done my calculations right, we have 61 GUP points. Do you need the pause for the hyphen, or can I just say GUPy?
You can say it however you like.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, okay. I just looked at it and thought goop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even though you were reading it out, I was not comprehending the dash.
Yeah, I actually have the official pronunciation as GUPy so that when you're discussing it during the game, it's separated out from the actual physical in setting mysterious goop that mutates animals and people.
Gotcha. Because of course you can't just say ooze.
No, not. And GUPy ended up being a lot of fun as an acronym.
Mm-hmm. I can imagine why.
Yep.
There was a time this was more of a parody initially, and there are some lingering elements of that.
So let's see, we got the GUP calculated. Do we have then we also have to write down the prime modifiers, right?
Nope, not yet.
Nope.
No prime add, no skill base, no skill gain, no damage dice. All of that is left aside until later because your base attributes can be modified as this goes along.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, a lot of things learned during playtesting about the most efficient order to do all this.
So, does that mean we're ready for step 4 then?
Yep.
Origin story. In line with the guidelines for your type of group in step 2, determine your character's source, background, and species randomly by rolling % on the following tables. Well, we're not doing that.
Well, you can roll for background normally, but species. Yeah. Now, there was a rule that I have from the original Kickstarter, which was strictly for people who backed at a level where they, chose a species to add to the book, where they spend 2 takebacks. So the person that decided they wanted the unicorn in next could spend 2 just to get that. Basically, because I wanted, if their things end up being really rare, like the giant pangolin or whatever, that they weren't completely denied it. So I would be willing to say you could spend 2 GUPy just to be a cat type.
Okay.
If that sounds equitable.
Yeah. Is that like a... Wait. To be clear, that's not a house rule.
Oh, so sorry. Sorry, 2 takebacks. That is not a house rule per se. You can spend 2 takebacks to take a specific species you backed at Kickstarter at the Secret the Group level if you did so. So that would kind of be a house rule, but it's a slight bending of an existing mechanic.
So, since we didn't back on Kickstarter,
right?
Would we still have to count that as a rule broken because we didn't back on Kickstarter?
Yes.
Okay.
The alternative is to...
Just for my notes.
Yeah, is to roll and hope... Granted, getting a cat isn't too hard, but it's far from given, so...
Just putting down under broken rules, didn't back on Kickstarter.
But you'll probably want to do source and mutation and background normally. And you can use your takebacks to adjust that to be something think might be suitable, though most of them will
Okay.
fit a cat pretty well.
We'll do everything else normally. We'll just have to, like, for species tables,
Yeah.
We'll have to spend our 2 takebacks to be a cat.
Yes.
Alright, so this is a percentage dice, which is 2d10, 1 being the 10 spot, the other one being the 1 spot.
Precisely.
Alright, pull up the Google roller, I guess.
I have the dice on me for this, but if you would like.
Oh, I mean, it's up to you if you're just ready to go.
However you're vibing.
They got 2d10s.
I do have my percentile dice, which is the D10 that has like 20, 40, 60. Yeah.
Gotcha.
I got a 68.
Transportation accident.
Goop spill.
Goop spill due to a crash, theft, or mishap. Roll on B2 rural background and C2 rural species.
Okay, so rural background. I hate that word. I have so much trouble saying it. 88.
Urban immigrant?
So that would shift you over to city background.
So do we also then have to roll city background, or?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Alright, let's see what we get. 81. Fled to the wild.
You cannot roll some results cause you to switch tables. You cannot roll more than once on the same table. If you get a result that causes you to do so, re-roll until you get a valid result. So you just go ahead and roll.
Okay.
On city background. Yeah, I recognized that and accounted for it.
Alright, cool. Okay, so we're re-rolling.
Yeah, because those are supposed to be kind of like if you're rolling, so you can roll like a weird rural species and have them end up in the city. So.
Gotcha.
I got a 59.
Oh.
Raised by a mutant community.
A clandestine group of mutant animals found and raised you. In return, you keep their secrets. Gain 1 basic skill package, 1 street skill package, 1 wild skill package, 4 hobbies, 1 survivor or basic equipment package, +2 speed, +1 will, and value community.
Alright. So is that another thing that would go on like the mutant worksheet? Or
Yeah, usually. All the skill stuff and hobbies will be selected later, along with the skill package. The +2 speed you can just apply now.
1 street skill, 1 basic skill, and 1 wild skill.
Skill packages, to be precise. So they'll each give you multiple skills. Hobbies are singular skills, essentially. Tend to have a lower percentile value.
Now, do we want the survivor or basic equipment package?
probably Survivor.
I would probably suggest Survivor, because that will have a lot more wild, wilderness-themed package stuff that would be more suitable rather than... Basic is much more like everyday person, what they might have, kind of stuff.
And those are both equipment packages?
Yeah, that would be an equipment package. And for your package, there isn't a strict place for the type of package, but down in the bottom right is where you find the various possessions. Probably just put it somewhere under there until we figure out exactly what you own. And granted, some of the gimmicks associated with wild packages can include stuff like, a secret tunnel, or, a readily available supply of food, whether it's a watering hole for animals or a dumpster.
I think we got that then.
Yep. And after that, you would normally be rolling for your species of animal, but since we're going straight to cat, there are 5 types of cats currently available in the game. The currently available breeds of cat are American Shorthair, Maine Coon in the core book, and in the expansion there was British Shorthair, Persian, and Siamese.
I think the only one of those that we haven't done is a British Shorthair.
Okay.
We've
done a Shorthair. I don't remember what ethnicity it was.
That's true. I think we just called it a Shorthair and that.
Maybe. And we can specify this one's American. Why not?
This one's from good old rural Kentucky.
I've been working on a pet-themed expansion, and so I've the roughs for 7 other types of cats already. I'm applying to at least 9, so...
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. And so that takes up 2 of our takebacks.
Right.
No, because we didn't modify
Yeah,
our base stats.
you didn't mess with your attributes. You didn't do any rerolls on the background. So, whoops.
We still got 2.
Still got 2.
All right, now on to
Optional
step
table.
5, I think, right?
Yeah, we can move on to step 5. There are various optional tables, but we can pass those by. And here we're getting to where you spend your goopy.
Well, wait a minute. Before we move on, do we want to take a look at the personalization tables?
Go ahead.
We've got height and weight tables, and
Yep.
some of these could be funny.
That's true. If you know anything about us, you know that we love to go for the funny option.
We can probably skip the institution tables because you don't have really anything background-wise that relates to them. But we can go straight to personalization.
Yeah, we're not from an institution, so
Nope.
Wild. And according to table F1 height, we are an 8, which is unusually short. You are 1d20 plus
Wow.
20% shorter than your size rating would indicate. Subtract 20% from rolls on the weight table.
So, do we already know what that is for short hair, or?
Well, we'll get around to that. They have what's called a size rating of 6, but that's kind of very general.
So we're 1d20 plus 20%, and I have a d20 here in my hand. We're gonna go ahead and give this a roll. That was so close to a 20, but it was an 8.
Okay, so
28% shorter.
I guess we're still a size rating 6, but 28% shorter than other. Do I got that right?
Yep. And
Cool.
then you subtract 20% from the weight roll.
You subtract 28.
20%.
Okay. So the weight roll was 59, so we bring that down to 39, which puts us at below average. 1d10% lighter than your size rating would indicate.
Yeah, that makes sense. And we know from our own personal notes that the average cat weight would be somewhere between 9.1 and 9.8. Nope, that's height. 8.8 to 11 pounds.
Yeah.
So we're lighter than that.
We are 9% lighter.
It definitely feels more like a small potato. Sorry, cat, rather than the long, lanky sort of cat.
This cat is basically only 8 inches long. Or 8 pounds. Almost exactly 8 pounds.
Tobies.
So if we're going off the average cat height, which is 9.1 to 9.8 inches, and we're 28% shorter than that. One moment, let me do the math here.
Yeah, you may want to apply it to length given you're doing a quadruped, but that's up to you.
That's fine.
One of the key points of like the personalization is that they are optional and non-binding.
Also, I really like the fact that there's this incredibly small cat out here that is just
6.5 inches.
That is just insanely strong. Also, you said 6.5 inches?
Yep.
That's the height?
That's the height.
Oh my god.
That's 28%.
Wait, is that 28% subtracted
That's 28
from? Or is that 28%?
Yeah, 28% subtracted from 9.1 inches.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, I guess 9.1 is the average. It's not too bad. 6, that's half a foot. Just a little guy walking around.
Very small.
I'm pretty sure I put Munchkin cats on for the future, for those that know.
Okay, perfect.
Where the cats with the unusually short legs.
Yep.
So cute.
So now we've gotten our personalization done. Now we can move on to there's another whole set of tables here.
Yeah.
Do we want to do all of these, or
We can leave some of them for future players to find.
we did have a rural background. Do we want to say what kind of life we had before a mutation, or?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that'll probably be the simplest one and the most applicable one to do.
I think we already have an idea about mutation peers, considering we're from a community background.
Yeah.
We're gonna roll for life before mutation. That is a fat 0.
So that's 100, right?
So yeah, I think that's 100, which means we are a tracked subject. A scientist tagged you with a biologger to gain data on you and your environment. This was likely damaged or destroyed by your mutation, but there's a detailed record of your previous life recorded somewhere.
So we were a feral cat who had been tagged.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Somebody's studying the feral cat pops.
Probably some high school science project.
Classic.
And then it might be interesting to do how I learned to fight, but
I suspect you'll probably not be going for a martial art, but that's up to you. Well, for a traditional martial art, you'll probably go for something like the natural fighting styles, but, it's your podcast, so I cannot stop you.
yeah. He's got a point. Let's leave this one alone.
But the How I Learned to Fight was a product of playtesting where playtesters would just choose the natural fighting styles because it wouldn't make any sense for me to know Arnis or, or boxing. And I'm just like, that may be true, but...
But it could be fun if you did.
It could be fun if you did, so that guy added in.
Alright, step number 5. Let's mutate. Each mutant animal starts out as a blank slate without anthropomorphic traits or the animal traits of their species. To gain either, they need to spend GOP to do so. You only begin with your size rating, basic traits, and GOP value.
And for the cat American Shorthair, several pages ahead, size rating is 6, and just basic traits are Felidae and Carnivore.
So we start out with those?
Yes.
Okay.
That's, of course, just noting being a member of the cat family and what you eat normally.
Okay. Cat American Shorthair. Gotcha. And that gives us an extra 33 in GOP.
Right.
Get a bonus 33?
Yep, just for being an American Shorthair.
Sweet, so we are at 94.
Yeah, you've got a pretty beefy one just because you had...
We rolled that bad stat.
Yeah.
Well, you rolled generally average and a bad stat, so...
So, enhance affinity perception prowess.
Yeah, it's going to be on the mutation worksheet normally. I don't know. Find some way to either mark those with an asterisk or the like. But yeah, those unfortunately are not. It's not fillable.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know some folks have put together Excel sheets and given more time. I could have looked those up, but right now I'm on the spot.
It's okay. At least we have you here.
Yes. One of the things about this game, it is very much a callback to the old, slightly clunky, long form character generation. So
that's okay. We've had some crunchy character generation on here in the past.
What's the most you think you've had?
Oh, the Dark Eye episode was so long we had to split it in 2 parts.
Oh, okay.
And both recordings took forever.
I don't know Dark Eye too well. I know that's...
Have you heard of Zweihander?
I am the Warhammer inspired game.
I don't know if it's Warhammer inspired or not.
Okay.
I just know it's kind of a dark fantasy setting, and you roll inverted D20 tables, so you want to roll low. Dark Eye is older with a similar setting, has been doing it for more editions, is a lot more refined, and has less terrible people at the helm of it.
Oh, well, then that's the Zweihander I'm thinking of, yeah. Without naming names. But yeah, I have to wonder if Dark Eye is descended from the original Warhammer, or if it's... Like a lot of European RPGs are, of course, kind of descended from basic roleplay, too, so... Call of Cthulhu system.
My understanding of the origins of Dark Eye is TSR backed out of a deal with a European publisher to try and get a European edition of D&D.
Yeah.
And so they just went ahead and made a similar system with enough changes that it couldn't be legally compared.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of what happened in Japan with them developing Sword World, when D&D kind of abandoned that little set of islands.
Yeah, TSR apparently abandoned a lot of foreign publication projects.
Yep, it's happened a number of times on and off, which has resulted in interesting branches, but going on.
Yeah. Back on track here.
Yes, you will have enhance refers to the attributes that you can enhance by spending goopy. And you'll also have your major traits, which are more impactful animal traits, and minor traits, which tend to be a bit more modest. And then you'll have a unique trait to that species. And all those have GUP costs. Minor traits always cost 1 per. And if they have something in parentheses, those are basically sub traits that are also purchased for one point apiece. So
claws would be 1, and then if you do claws retractable, it'd be 2, right?
Right, and you can have all 3. Yeah, you can. Cats are one of the rare ones that have like 3 traits to their claws because they have ascent, which helps them climb one way, hooked, and retractable. So that would be 4. So you'll probably, I think, given the givens, just be wanting to buy up everything on that list, most likely.
I mean, we can probably afford it.
We can definitely.
You can absolutely afford it. Yeah.
I was looking at the caribou one above American Shorthair and was confused why we had antlers as an option.
Antlers out.
That's a subject of wild mutations in the expansion, so that's the kind of thing you get from that.
All right. Well, we won't do that then.
No.
But yeah, I think we may as well just take these all. If we can afford it.
Yeah, it looks like you can
at least all the
major
major traits.
Mm-hmm. All the major traits?
Yeah, we can easily afford all the major traits and probably all the minors.
Yeah, I think that should cost you like 37, I think. Double check my math.
Yeah, 33 in total.
And then 38 if you take working cat.
Foes with a lower size rating can't gain surprise. Now, how often do we think it would come up that there is a foe with a lower size rating?
I mean, canaries are smaller.
I guess it is different, the size rating versus our actual size.
Yeah.
Didn't think about that.
I think the important thing here is it may be rare, but it doesn't matter how rare it is if it helps accommodate our terrible perception.
That
if you want to save
so
time on
true.
minor traits, you could just write down all or something along those lines, given the givens.
Yeah, it won't fit in the box.
Yeah.
But
You don't think so?
no, I know it won't.
Yeah, you get cat fancy, which is the basically ability to wheedle things out of humans. Enhanced scent and night sight are pretty self-explanatory. Swift sprint is short fast runs as opposed to just fast runs. Claws, ascent, hooked, and retractable, most of which have... Hooked is good for grabbing things, which is what cats do as predators.
Mm-hmm.
Hearing, fall riding, which is of course your classic landing on your feet. Teeth, slaying, which is for creatures that use their teeth to try and do things like go for the neck or the like. Territorial, which is pretty self-explanatory, gives you advantages if you're having to defend your chosen home. Ultrasonic hearing, and whiskers.
So we've got another cat that will bite you in the neck so soon after vampire.
Well, it's what they do. So it is kind of their even without the need to the unnatural need to drink blood. They know what will stop another animal. So
yeah, this is the perfectly natural need to drink blood.
Yes,
Correct.
as opposed to I was just like researching fish or cats, which are not cats, nor do they really eat fish. But they've been known to hunt bobcats in much the same way by going in and going right for the neck.
So why are they called fish cats if they don't fish and are not cats?
I think it's a misnomer born of some non-English term that which was like filch or something like that, and it got twisted into fisher.
Also, bobcat cat is too long.
Bobcat cats.
Might also lead to a completely different type of confusion.
Humans were never confused. Come on.
If you say so.
Okay.
So that will kind of bring you around probably just to where you're spending the rest of your GUP. Normally, on a mutant, you'd probably be spending on anthropomorphic traits, which are, your ability to stand or get opposable thumbs or talk words good, but obviously you're probably not going for any of that.
Well, I mean,
I don't know what...
We've had cats that could talk in the past.
True.
Well, you go to page 38.
38, almost there. Anthropomorphic traits, basic.
And there's also modifying your size rating to become a bigger cat, if desired.
We don't need it.
We don't need it.
Okay.
We can just be tiny, strong, and clueless. That is the perfect setup, honestly.
That is the dream. So there are several different categories that you can spend on. You have your diet, which if you want to do more than just be a carnivore, that's where you go. You have movement, which for a quadrupedal animal like a cat is usually just moving into being semi-bipedal and then bipedal. Prehensility, which is getting grasping paws and then actual thumbs. Speech, which allows you to move to a semi-vocal from being your Scooby-Doo to being actually vocal where you can speak clearly. Mask in this situation would probably be generally a vehicle for body horror, having somebody who something with human traits that was otherwise a cat. Probably a horror movie in that somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't know. Bestial is just normal, and Inhuman would probably be like the cats from Monster Hunter.
Yeah, I would.
Like you could make it creepy, but
yeah.
But they're so friendly. They cook you food.
Inhuman, it just makes me think of like cat people or the like. I don't recall how furry they were, but
I don't know. Kimono Mimi is where I would put cat people.
yeah. I had like no other word for that other than the animist term. So
Understandable.
dancing anthropomorphic language.
Should we be semi-vocal, you think?
Yeah.
Because
we should be semi-vocal.
I like the idea of like we only got a little bit of radioactive goo on us, so
Yeah.
we didn't go through the full change. So semi-vocal is too goopy. You can speak intelligibly, but are notably inhuman and off-putting. Oh wow, this is just like me talking to my coworkers. And may be misunderstood at time. You're +D on social roles with humans and creatures who do not share your classification trait and who are not your allies or contacts.
Presumes people you spend time around get used to you. And classification trait is Felidae, so it's other cat-like creatures.
Dietary requirements. I don't know that we need to be an omnivore.
Yeah, no, I think carnivore should be fine, right?
Wait, question. Do we need to be an omnivore to eat pizza?
Being a facultative carnivore would probably help for that.
Okay. That's
So
fine.
spending
I think that's where cats are anyway, isn't it?
Yeah.
Close. Like it's always hard to say, and I might adjust it if I ever do like a second issue, because nearly everything there's like very little in the way of like truly pure carnivores or purely true herbivores. That most animals will eat a little bit of something else.
I mean, my cat likes cheese, so he's definitely not just a carnivore.
Well, that's an animal product.
To be fair, I've never tried to give him like broccoli or something, so I don't know. Maybe he's down like that.
Maybe your cat would be a huge fan of broccoli cheddar soup.
Ooh, true. I'm actually a huge fan of broccoli cheddar soup.
But yeah, some cats will nibble on grass for digestive purposes, but they don't really get much nutrition out of it.
So by default, we're already a facultative carnivore, right?
You start as a carnivore, and then you could spend 1 point to become facultative.
I think it's worth the 1 point.
Yep.
Yeah.
You've got a lot to work with, so you're going to be... you are challenged to spend points at this point.
Oh no, we only have 53 points left. What are we going to do?
Let's see. We've already got our semi-vocal, right?
Correct. I already spent the points for that.
Do we want to be semi-bipedal?
I was looking at that, and I think we could do that.
Like you can stand and walk, but it's uncomfortable and unsteady. So you're mostly still gonna be walking on those hind legs, or on four legs.
Yeah.
I mean,
5.
But if we needed to like stand on our hind legs to lift a heavy object,
we could do it.
Yeah.
This movement type? It is. Okay.
Yes. So let's see. And I don't think we need we're not gonna worry about the mask. We'll just be bestial.
Okay.
You don't have to worry about things like senses or respiration, because cats breathe oxygen and have close to human senses. At least have many of the same.
Yeah,
Are
both mammals. Do we want any bionics?
we sorry, before we move on to bionics, prehensility.
Yeah, prehensility. Mm-hmm.
Are we doing locomotors?
You would be locomotors, yeah. If you don't have any, if you don't spend anything on it, that presumes that your forelimbs are just used as feet. You might be able to hold something between your two front limbs, but not real well.
Gotcha.
Yeah, your options are basically paws, hands, and thumbs.
I got radioactive goo spilled on me, and all I got were these thumbs.
Yeah, well, grasping is kind of like raccoons and things like that.
Yeah.
Love those funky little guys.
Hey guys, I know this is a bit of a long one. I don't want to take up too much of your time, so Austin and I are going to kind of rapid fire our way through the mid-roll this time, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
I guess to start with, you can find everything about the show if you go to literalcatpod.start.page. One thing you can find there is our email, which is literalcatpod@gmail.com. Austin, what can you do with the email address?
With the email address, you can do a lot of things. You can send us cat pictures. I'm putting that one at the top of the list this time. You can request to be on the show. You can request a specific game or a type of cat if you have anything in mind. You can reach out with questions, I guess. Basically, I mean, whatever you do with an email, usually.
Yeah, all that stuff. Then you can find us on social media if you go to Twitter or Tumblr.com and look up Literal Cat Pod. Or Blue Sky, actually, now that I think about it.
Yeah, we're on there sometimes. I don't know how often Joel is on there, but I am on there occasionally.
Well, I mean, as the show, I'm logged into all three, but...
Other things you can find on the start page is our YouTube. We put up our episodes there. You can comment on it, listen along in the background, whatever you do over there. We're on the YouTube podcasts page now, correct, Joel?
Yes. Should be able to look up how to make a literal cat in your favorite RPG, or, go to youtube.com/@literalcatpod, whichever, or yes, like Austin said, we are fully integrated with YouTube's podcast feature at this point.
Other things you can do to help out the show, or you can do at your leisure. Rate and review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, other various podcasting places have rating systems. Go ahead and leave us 5 stars if you would be so kind.
Yeah. Also, written reviews would make us feel good. No one's done that yet.
Yeah, give us the feedback. Give us 5 stars and then tell us why you think we're a 5-star podcast.
But, seriously, those star ratings do, boost us within the algorithm of whatever app, which means that we're more likely to get recommended to people. And we can't afford to advertise, and I just realized the other day, there's really not any good way we could advertise, online at least, if we could afford it. But...
Yeah.
But anyway, another great way that you can help spread awareness of the show, and, have some fun yourself, is if you go to bit.ly/literalcatpod, you can access character sheets from this and every other episode. So you can use them in your game, just to be clear.
Yeah. You can take those character sheets, you can do whatever you want with them. If you want to change up a few things, that's fine. If you want to keep it as is, that's cool too. And if you do use it in a game, let us know about it, Shoot us a @ on Twitter, or, write it in an email, say how it went. We'd love to hear it.
That would be great. Hopefully soon there will be an episode of Ghosts on a Train where you can hear Wonk from one of our lightning rounds.
Can't wait to hear that episode.
It's incredible. Anyway, finally, we have a Patreon. It's not the Literal Cat Pod Patreon. It's the Badger Trove Patreon, because Literal Cat Pod may be the only thing we have published at the moment, but it's not the only thing we do. And so there will be more stuff linked to that Patreon over time, including possibly some of our own custom-made RPGs. And that's everything you need to know about the show. Austin, why don't you tell us something about your online presence real quick?
You can find me on Twitter, Tumblr, and Twitch and TikTok, all the T's, at Avalon Alchemist. You can also find me on Blue Sky at Avalon Alchemist. And yeah, that's it for me. What about you, Joel? Where can they find you?
Well, people can find me at Denalo Lioge on most social media sites, but no one knows how to spell that, so just go to jholland.start.page and you'll find all my links there.
Great.
Did we get through everything?
I think that's it. That's all of our checklist.
All right, cool.
We won't take up any more of your time. Have fun with the rest of the episode, and we'll see you in just a second.
Hello, I'm Quinn.
And I'm Alex.
And we're
a couple of characters.
We discuss topics related to creating characters for role-playing games.
We talk about fun characters we've created.
And give advice about how to make your own quirky characters.
Check us out every other week, wherever podcasts are found.
Okay, we can move on to biotics.
Yeah, so there's gonna be several other things. Zoomorphic traits you'll probably skip. That is the weird stuff kind of category. So if you want to be like a cat tar, or having some other weird variations that don't apply to cats, like things involving tentacles for octopi. What you probably be going to is actually going back a bit to page 36 for attribute enhancement, which allows you to boost your attributes by spending goo P. And those are the 3 you got from your species. You also get to select one more attribute you can enhance. 4 attributes total.
Okay, so our 3 attributes we were assigned are... Where is it? No, that's not the right page. American Shorthair. Affinity, Perception, and Prowess. So we don't have to stay as clueless as we are, I guess.
Particularly if the attribute you're enhancing is 10 or less, the enhancement it grants is doubled, even if that increases it above 10. So that would be mainly just your perception.
So spending 1 point would get us up to 8?
Yes. And the other thing I'll just cover as you're looking at this is the other main thing is going to be psionic powers.
I think we're strong enough that we don't need to be psychic.
True. Do we want to increase our perception? Generally like how funny it is to be dumb, but we do have a lot of points.
And if you don't spend all your points, that's also okay.
Alright.
I mean, if we don't have to spend them all.
You can always save some for like a later mutation, particularly since you can get goopy later on in leveling if you so desire.
Okay. And we've also done a thing in the past where, like, if we got a big, like, heavy point buy system, which is what this seems like it is, then we have absolutely left points for our audience to fill in.
Yeah, we've done that plenty. We have 48 points left right here. I think we could spend 6 to get a +3, which will give us a +6 since it's under 10, and bring our perception up to our new baseline, essentially.
Which
would be 12.
Okay.
It's only with 3 points.
I kind of like perception being less than 10.
Okay. Yeah, I was going to say, if we prefer the perception lower, which I'm also kind of leaning towards, then yeah, we can just leave it as is. Is there anything else you'd like to enhance, though?
We could bump it up to 8, but I don't want to do more than that.
Yeah, you have your affinity, perception, prowess, and kind of the whatever other single trait you want to select to be enhanceable.
We could say strength. We could be even stronger.
We could spend 15 and get a 20 strength. Which I think
you're doing that. I think that's what you're doing.
I think we're doing that. Yeah.
Yep.
15.
I'm hearing you laugh, and I'm going, yeah, that's what you're doing.
33. We're back down to 33. Does this change our base, or is this our prime modifier?
This changes your base.
This changes the base.
Yeah, bonuses will typically be to the base attribute. Technically speaking, whenever a bonus refers to that full name of an attribute, it's to the base.
Gotcha. All right. Are there any other stats we want to mess with? Because
We could bump perception up to an 8, but I don't want to do more than that.
okay, let's bump up to an 8. It's 1 point, so
We won't miss it. Probably.
we won't miss it. Will the viewer miss it who plays along at home? It's 1 point. Will you really? Will you really?
You'll live. You'll level up.
Yeah.
Oh, given the average is 14, it's still well below. Though this is one of those games that kind of presumes that characters are going to be particularly competent.
Oh, the average.
Oh,
Because the average.
The average is 14.
Yeah, the average. The presumably the average of a regular person is still around 10. But I looked at like the capabilities of the actual like playable characters in the old games. And how they diverted, like, if you look at the turtles in the original TMNT RPG, they are actually vastly more competent than something you'd normally make with the rules. So I aimed for that kind of competence level as opposed to the really kind of early punishing rules you often see from a 1985 RPG.
Gotcha.
Yes, I'm a mutant armadillo, but I am simply a average mutant armadillo.
listen, I'm not crazy or anything. I'm just
Yeah,
average.
we're not gonna be unrealistic about our mutant armadillos,
Yeah, no.
Back in the day.
We would never.
We had to keep it real.
Crap, I gotta refresh my memory on our stats again. It's, the ones that were allowed to boost. Affinity, perception, and prowess.
Yes.
Maybe we should boost our affinity and prowess up to average? Since, like, I'm guessing if those are stats that we have the power to enhance by default, those are supposed to be, like, our good stats. So we should at least be average at them.
Okay.
Yeah. Unlike basically what I was aiming for was like in the old games, they would just give you a bonus to those, and I made it so it's just like, well, if you don't think your character's that, then you don't have to go for it and can use your points elsewhere. But
Okay. I mean, it's 4 points, and we've still got a lot.
And as a designer, I don't necessarily want to get into which gets a higher strength bonus, a rhino or a buffalo, and it's like,
The answer is a 6.5-inch cat.
You said you want to bump affinity and prowess to 14.
Yeah.
That's the average. So that'll be 6 points, since we're bumping each up by 2.
Yep. What is it, 6 or 4?
6. Bumping up by +2.
Gotcha. Okay.
32 minus 6 is a number that I am working on.
That would be 26.
We get a
26,
calculator.
yeah.
That's fine.
Okay,
I still feel good about this.
what's up next?
If we're skipping psionic powers, then we'd be moving on to the next step overall.
Yeah, we don't need to be psychic. Have you seen this cat lift?
Being psychic is for nerds. We're fighting type.
Now, a key point to keep in mind with that strength is your size determines how much you can lift. So you can lift a lot for a cat. Now, in combat, he's still doing, the same like damage, strictly speaking. But
Okay.
next is step 6, how you fight.
And that's on page 53. 52.
53 in the PDF.
Yeah, PDF adds the cover. So
Those PDFs.
PDF adds 10 pounds.
though I tell it the cover is A, it still counts it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
Oh, Firefox seems to be doing it correctly, because I put in 52 and it took me to the right page. So that's nice.
let's see here. Step 6, how you fight. Each mutant starts with one fighting style. The type of fighting style they may choose is determined by their background. We are from a rural background, sport, tradition, or wild. Backgrounds that can learn secret styles are noted specifically, and inspiration styles can be chosen throughout inspiration mutation. These are learned in place of the selections.
Secret styles, there's stuff like the ninjutsu in here. Inspiration styles is mainly just like if you're playing a tiger, you can take black tiger, black tiger boxing, and getting a little benefit for it.
So, my recommendations for this would either be sport, which is, it looks like general, kinda, because it's available in both rural and city, and we are both rural and city in our background, or wild, which probably leans best into our overall vision. What do you guys think?
See, I was leaning towards tradition or wild.
I guess tradition is on both city and rural as well.
Wild would definitely lean towards Pursuit Predator, which is basically the default cat fighting style. An animalistic attack form based on overrunning and overwhelming prey. Sport gives you access to, of course, a lot of martial arts that might be used for like tournaments and the like. So everything from Aikido to Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu.
Muay Thai is on here.
Muay Thai, yep.
That's Spanish for very Thai, for all you.
I don't think that's what that is, but...
You don't
no,
think
not
so?
quite. Nah. Whenever possible, I tried to find like legit martial arts names and not necessarily the Americanized names. So like,
Gotcha.
And tradition tends to be more just like pure martial arts styles.
Okay.
And there's always improvisational panic, which is you can default to wild, and that's more just like I am running around throwing stuff because I don't know how to fight.
I think Pursuit Predator might be the way to go.
I think so too. You said very, very cat-like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which gives you, you're going to get a bonus to your prowess and speed is listed there.
Ooh, nice. +1 prowess, +2 speed. So now we're 15 in prowess.
You're also going to get a set of supported maneuvers to mark off on the sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah, core bonus usually just refers to you can only get this ability if it's like the first martial art you select.
Gotcha.
So if you were selecting something as a second martial art later down the road, you only get the base ability and some of the maneuvers.
Gotcha. So we get the core ability Snap.
Yep, and that basically allows you to do like maximum damage with a die with like your claws. If you're basically every weapon, including claws, will have like maneuvers associated with it. And for example, one for claws is going to be like grab. So if you're doing a grab with your claws, you will actually do extra damage in addition to trying to actually grab them.
Okay. And where do we put that?
There should be a part of the sheet on the second page, I believe.
Style abilities right here.
Yeah, style. Okay, yeah.
Snap and chase. Supported maneuvers, bully, death blow, grab, knockdown. Do we get those automatically, or is that just stuff that comes later? Oh.
Nope, you get them all now.
Check our boxes.
Basically, the supported maneuvers means there are maneuvers that you are trained in and you have no penalties on. So, bully is, of course, intimidating people and scaring them away. Death blow is what it sounds like, doing a finishing attack on somebody who's weakened. Grab is pretty self-explanatory. Knockdown is self-explanatory. Press is, of course, just keeping somebody busy.
Cat that has no idea what's going on, but he's super strong and super fast, and he bullies people. So he like goes up to a door and he's like, "Hey, bad guys, I know you're on the other side of this door. Leave, or I'm gonna kick everybody's ass." And you just see a bunch of people leaving the adjacent building.
Honestly, I think you could achieve the exact same effect by kicking the door down while being 6.5 inches tall.
You definitely could.
Uh-huh.
Just door flies past a group of people.
I know the size and weight thing influences the, exact impact of our strength, but...
Not too much. Basically, when you're doing damage in this game, you're usually doing it based on the damage of your weapon, the damage of how much strength you have, and how much size you have. And the size is where your character is gonna, is where a size 6 cat is gonna struggle a bit. But the strength still counts no matter what. So.
All right.
And with this, I think we're done with martial arts fighting styles and going on to getting good, which is where you're selecting your skills. And you'll be selecting skill packages. As we brought up earlier, it's going to be at least one basic, one street, and one wild. And you have a list of them there, and they are described on the following pages.
Okay, so our basic packages...
We get one of each of these skill packages.
Extreme sports, farming, hunting, industrial, spirituality, and
And traversal is running, swimming, that sort of stuff.
Traversal could be good for just, a cat.
That would be the stereotype unless you want to buck it.
if we're rural, we could also be a farm cat. But we're feral, that's right. So
And then you also have street, of which the least obvious ones would be things like clandestine, which is your sneaking around kind of stuff, and prey, which is running away from something big kind of stuff. And wild is where you'll find like predator, for example.
Predator sounds cool.
That is the finding and ending prey.
Gotcha. So I like this one word right here that's in a different font splatter at the bottom of the page.
nice.
Very good way to circumvent that.
Yeah.
Let's see. So, Joel, do you have any thoughts on basic packages?
I like either hunting or spirituality.
Spirituality, really?
Yeah. It would be one of those out there things that maybe you pick up after mutating, but hunting is like the cat learns how humans hunt, I think is the...
Yeah, hunting, you've got hunting, which is your traditional, I set traps, I use gun, and predator, which is the more I grab thing and bite neck.
I don't know that this cat would be an artist. I don't know that they'd be into cars.
Yeah, no.
They probably don't work construction.
No.
They were never a house cat.
How extreme sports. Let's discuss.
They could be into extreme sports, I guess.
The lure of extreme.
We could always make another cat that shreds.
That's true.
The lure of surf cat is strong.
Surf cat.
When on skis, skates, or a board in a fight scene, you may perform a move action as a movement once a turn, or as a moment once a turn, but foes are +A on knockdowns and repositions against you.
Where a moment is kind of like your quick action, your thing you can do outside of like your main action.
Yeah, Surf Cat is a very strong pull, I think.
And you might not want to worry about it per se. There are two ways skill packages can be modified, however. You can discard one of their primary skills to get an optional skill, or you can just discard a skill to boost the remaining two skills.
So I do like here, what you do is sick. That is our constant mission status. If we do extreme sports anyway.
Yeah, that was just an option. I am looking at spirituality. Optional skills, astronomy, and psychology. Man.
But yeah, it's supposed to be, religion, mysticism, occultism.
This cat becomes semi-sentient and is like, what is the meaning of life? Am I just here to eat fish and walk around and sleep all day?
It was a major thrust of the original Turtle comics once they got over beating the Shredder. They're like, well, what do we do now? What do we do with our lives? Defeated the man who looks like a cheese grater. What next?
Now, here's the thing. Spirituality is the funny choice. But I am also good with hunting, if you prefer to do that.
I don't really want to do hunting. What like, I thought it would be cool, but once I read it and realized it was like, oh, human hunting tactics, then it kind of lost its appeal for me. I'm leaning either extreme sports or spirituality at this point, I think.
See, here's the thing. We can do both. Because Basic has spirituality, and I believe we have a street package we do. So we can also take extreme sports.
Okay, I guess if we don't have to choose, why should we?
We can do whatever we put our mind to.
Yeah, most of the skill packages will overlap between two categories. So.
Okay.
All right.
Basic.
All right.
Spirituality.
All right. So for spirituality, we get +1 determination and +1 endurance. And then, did we also look at the other stuff from the package? Because it says like package ability, gain 2 additional values of your choice.
Yeah, you could just mark down that you have that package. But yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, specifically with spirituality, it grants 2 additional values you select when you get around to that, which is during the last step. And you already got a bonus one for your background, so you may have like 6 values, which is pretty...
We're a very talented cat.
You have opinions. You have opinions as a cat.
We have opinions, and we shred waves.
You have opinions and must be kept from the internet at all costs.
I think we have one more to do, right? Yeah, our wild package.
So let's see. We get the primary skills of meditation, mysticism, and philosophy, right?
Yeah.
So would these go under like our just straight up skills right here?
Yeah. Now, going through determining skills is probably the most chunkiest part of this process, so I don't know if you folks want to bypass for the moment, or...
Well, we still have to choose our wild skill package. I'm just like kind of looking at this and I guess filling it out as we go. Where is that listed? There it is.
Yep.
Handler, predator, prey, spirituality, and we had another opportunity for spirituality.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean, you can always swap that around. I won't tell. It may be recorded for the public to hear, but I won't tell.
I think we should do predator for our wild one.
I think so too.
Prey might be funny, but predator makes sense.
Yes. Sometimes we have to do the one that makes sense. Well, we get +1
Yep.
strength for that, putting us at a whopping 21 strength.
We can also take the optional skills of sneak or scoop, or snoop, if we want them.
Does this cat sound like somebody that would sneak?
No, they're not that subtle.
Alright. Snoop, perhaps.
Are you a busybody?
Do we care about what is going on with other people?
I don't know.
I don't think this cat would be nosy.
One of our values is community, so...
That's true. But we're not perceptive, so it's more like we learn the things that people tell us about, but we can't see the things that they don't tell us about.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think we'd be good at snooping, even if we wanted to.
I'm sure this cat takes a lot of watchful naps. Sounds like it, yeah.
Alright, I'm gonna need you guys to sign for these.
Unless we want to somehow rearrange things so that we can take thief instead from our street. Because we have the ability to do that, but...
What does thief do?
Like, if we took extreme sports as our basic, spirituality as our wild, and then thief as our street, then we would give our cat its natural affinity for crime.
Oh, that's right, the natural affinity for crime.
Honestly, I think the skills that we have are good. I just realized that was an option. If we wanted to erase Predator, we could just rearrange the things that we have for Thief.
Yeah, just remember to adjust any attribute bonuses appropriately if you do so.
Oh yeah, we already applied those.
Yep.
Let's just move
I
on.
was about to say, while we have the natural affinity for thief, or for crime, I think Predator kind of keeps us grounded on the literal cat side.
Yeah.
And also an affinity for crime is not necessarily a competence at crime, so.
True. But we could take crime as a hobby, since that's what's next, isn't it?
Yeah, you're gonna have hobbies, yep. You'll be going to a skill list on pages 58 and 59, and just selecting 4 skills you want that you don't already have. During design, I was considered having a more limited list for hobbies, and then I said, you can explain how your deer knows how to fly a plane. You can come up with that interesting story, and it's not for me to tell you otherwise.
Let's see, burglary. Oh, that's a perception skill.
It is. Though with the two, basically, to describe how these end up working out in terms of percentages, you'll have 2 attributes associated with every skill. Like, of course, like deduction, doing detective stuff is perception and affinity. If it is a package skill, you are using the higher of those 2 as your base, and the second one is used for determining how quickly it advances with your levels. If you have a hobby skill, it is the opposite. The lower of the 2 is your base, and the higher of the 2 determines how quickly it levels, because hobbies are things you are not necessarily good at, but are interested in.
So we could be really bad at breaking and entering, but getting better fast.
We're getting real good at it.
You'll also have a specialty skill equal to your, what would be the prime modifier for your intelligence, which I believe, what was your cognition?
Cognition is 13.
that would be +1, I believe. Let me just double check that really quick. But you'll be selecting 1 or 2 skills that you basically get the best of both worlds on, where you just use the higher attribute for both the advancement and the base skill.
We're good at strength, obviously, but what's our second highest skill? I think it's speed.
Our second highest is speed at 18.
So where are our speed hobbies? Boating.
Shadowing. Follow a person unnoticed in an urban setting.
We already have skating.
Well, ones that involve speed, I'm sure you might already have some of these. Athletics, which is fairly self-explanatory. Boating, and how to pilot watercraft.
I think we're
Driver
too
is
small
also
and
speed.
cat for that.
Yeah. Well, it didn't stop tunes. Yeah, because speed is seen as like reflexes for piloting, stuff like that. Escape, which is escaping from like hunters and
Now,
pursuit.
escape could be good if we do not notice an enemy and somebody gets the drop on us.
Yeah, that's true.
Shadowing also involves speed. Just about, I think, like almost all the...
But shadowing also involves perception, and that's what we would be rolling.
Yeah.
Should we take escape?
Yeah, sure.
Prowess, speed. Pretty good at both.
We'd be okay with that.
I mean, to be fair, you guys ever done escape rooms?
The art of escape.
Yeah. You know, an escape room, that's where you learn the art of escaping.
Oh, is that where all the cats go?
That's, yes. I went in there one time, and 6 of my 7 partners were cats, actually.
Oh, wow.
I was also informed that I may have walked into the wrong building. There was an animal shelter right next to it. Anyways. What's our next hobby?
Again, we could take burglary and just know that we're going to be comically bad at it.
Yeah, I mean,
bad.
sometimes you can just take stuff because it's fun or that you want to do.
We have to have the natural affinity for crime. This cat would at least try it, maybe like sneaking a candy bar out like of a gas station or something, and he gets caught. He's like, damn, oh well, I'll just throw it on the ground.
Yeah.
Okay, 2 more hobbies.
Demolitions?
Sorry, did you say demolitions?
He said demolitions.
Use explosives to deliberate effect.
Let's see. Athletics is something that we would be naturally good at no matter what.
Mm-hmm. So you're saying we should take it because we're naturally good at it?
Yes.
Okay.
I think we got to take one skill that we're just gonna be good at naturally. And then, yeah, something like demolitions, or maybe not that one specifically, but something like that for the why not factor.
What about an electrician?
It makes just about as much sense.
Yeah. Let's see if we can find something.
Bite the right wires.
Yeah. You're gonna need to bite the red wire. I'm a dog. I'm colorblind.
Kind of rattled after having to study that the hard way.
I'm sorry. You studied demolitions?
I was saying, study electrician by trial and error and incisors.
Yeah, that would hurt.
Yeah, you get used to it.
You'd be all right. What's a couple electric shocks?
Yeah, I've definitely got real close while doing electrician work.
You've done electrician work.
Yeah, just kind of household replacing.
Yeah.
Outlet kind of stuff, but yeah.
Yeah, well, anything to do with electrician work is like you just got to be so careful.
Yeah, one of the things I had to study when I was still I worked in IT before I started doing game design professionally, and I remember having to study how to like disassemble like things like a monitor, and just going like,
oh boy.
These are the old previous monitors, the ones that had a big magnetized cathode ray that will kill you, and going, I never want to do this. I am studying how to do this, and you'll have a hard time paying me enough to do it. Just get a new monitor, please.
It'll be cheaper.
Yeah, I mean, we all just used to have a bunch of radioactive boxes in our house. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
Do you guys not still have radioactive boxes in your house? Should I get rid of those?
I still have one.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong. I still have one that my PS2 is plugged into. But the thing is, most of my PS2 games that I actually like are playable on the PS4 and therefore the PS5. But anyway.
What do we think about Streetwise? We have an awareness of
Streetwise?
local crime organizations and fixers. Maybe this is something we
Okay.
picked up in our studies on burglary.
Maybe. Or something we learned through our underground mutant community that we're a part of.
Ooh, true. Maybe there's a secret sect in that underground mutant community that is, a little more criminal.
Or maybe not even that, but like, if you have to like live outside of the public view, you kind of have to learn alternate ways of getting certain things.
True. So yeah. Streetwise, you think? Yes, no, maybe so.
I think Streetwise is good. Like, it makes perfect sense. It fits the character.
Sweet. Alright, that is our last hobby.
Okay.
I believe we're on to step 8. Get stuff.
Yeah, I think we can pass up the actual numbers. And you can probably do that.
Oh, we have work to do still?
There is technically work still to do in actually determining the percentages of those skills.
Oh, is that...
I can walk you through that.
Excuse me. That's part of this step still?
Yes.
Okay, let's go ahead and do that then.
Okay.
Before we move on.
So, what we will do is remember all those bonuses that were on the attribute table? Prime mod, skill base, skill gain, damage dice.
Yeah.
Yep.
By now, once you've selected your skill packages, you can mark all those down by the attributes, and that's on page 13. Main ones you'll be worried about for this step are going to be the skill base and skill gain, so you can limit yourself to that if you want. But for example, your perception of 8 will have a skill base of 40% and a skill gain of 2%, as opposed to a 20 is 70% and 4% respectively.
Let's see. So our 13 has a skill base of 55, a skill gain of 3.
And our damage die is 1d8 for that.
Yeah, with this particular character, it'll mainly just matter for your strength as far as damage dice goes. I know that you have to worry about the rest.
Yeah, I figured as much, but... And the perception one is 1d6, if it matters to you.
Yeah, let's just go down the list. Determination is 14, so that's a 58 and a plus 3% skill gain.
Is this the point where we should also put in our prime mod, or...
Yeah, you can go ahead and do that now. I think I have it listed as part of the final step, but by now you should have all the necessary math done for that. So.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why we don't have it do it earlier, because I had people having to refigure during character creation, and that's not fun.
14 is plus 2.
What is an 8?
Do we have a 15?
No.
8 is minus 1. Let's see, our next stat is 16, I think, right?
Yep.
Yes. And that is plus 3. Yep.
What is an 18?
Plus 4.
Okay, plus 4. And what is a 21?
You're going to love this next one. It's plus 5.
So our strength is
Yep.
21. Let me look back at this. So 71% skill base, 5% skill gain, and 2d10. Could you tell me what a 16 is, Joel?
16 is 62% skill base and 4% skill gain. And 1d12.
What about an 18?
66% skill base, 4% skill gain.
Damage dice?
2d8.
Interesting. Okay. That is our full attribute values.
Okay. So anything that is a package skill, we'll use the higher of those two attributes as the skill base, and the lower as your skill gain for that attribute, and vice versa for hobbies. You'll also get to select one of your skills as a specialty skill. Usually that'll be a hobby, but it doesn't have to be, and that will use both, the better on both. So if you had cognition and strength, you'd be using strength for both of those.
Okay. Probably it would make sense for our specialty hobby to be like streetwise, you think?
Yeah, I think so.
Again, that kind of fits in with the background the most.
So would that be our specialty skill then?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Also, I just realized I never wrote down the attributes attributed to either of these.
Let's go through each of them real quick then. Meditation is first. Let's start there, I guess. Meditation is determination and endurance.
Determination is lower, so endurance we are higher.
Okay, so, yeah. Endurance is attribute A for meditation. Determination is attribute B. Mysticism is cognition and determination.
Okay, determination is higher.
Yep. For all the ones that came from a package skill, it's going to be the higher one.
Gotcha.
And next is philosophy. Philosophy, cognition and affinity. So affinity's higher.
Okay, next up is skate.
Skate is prowess and speed.
Okay, speed is higher. Skiing.
Skiing. Also prowess and speed.
Okay, easy enough. Next up is surfing.
Prowess and endurance. Both 16.
Next up is stalk.
Stalking is perception and endurance. So obviously endurance is the higher skill.
Okay, next up is tracking.
Tracking is determination and perception.
Okay, well, we know what's...
Do you really need to look it up?
Nope. Vigilance.
Affinity and perception.
And on to hobby skills. Escape.
Electrician. Escape. Prowess and speed.
Prowess and speed.
Prowess is our lower stat of the two.
Okay, burglary.
That one is perception and prowess. Athletics, strength and speed. So speed is our lower stat.
How is this the only ability that has strength attributed to it that we have?
We didn't plan ahead.
We did not. We definitely did not plan ahead. Okay, streetwise is the final one.
Determination and affinity. Those are both 14. Okay. Is there anything else we need to note here, or...
No, once you have the percentages down, I think you've already gotten everything marked.
Cool. So next we move on to step 8. Get stuff.
I do believe you are probably leaning towards getting a survivor equipment package.
Yeah, I think that's what we wanted.
And with that, you get everything listed under it, and then you select kind of one of the variations.
Okay. Probably since we live in the city, either scavenged or urban.
It's up to you. Wild would be suitable. I mean, if you're surviving without, in a wild sense, then that would just be the wild. Urban would also be suitable. Scavenged is kind of like you have gone through like the junk piles and have gotten decent enough at building things out of sticks and twine. Well, maybe not that, but
I don't know that it makes sense that we would have armor, so I think we should go like... But does it make sense that we would have weapons?
You thinking wild?
We have no training in weapons.
So I should have, I should have explained earlier, but it didn't seem like it didn't seem like a pressing concern. Let's put it, because normally you can take extra proficiencies with weapons by spending your hobbies, but it doesn't sound like that was something you were really going to do. Now you automatically
probably not.
You already get proficiency with anything you start with. So if you took a weapon, you automatically get proficiency with it.
So if we took a small weapon, we would start with a proficiency in it.
Yeah.
Okay. We
And
can do that. Probably.
Okay, yeah.
If you want to have 2 basics or survivor gimmicks, that would also allow us to start with a little bit more money.
So with that, the main thing you'll be selecting, obviously you've got everything listed under the equipment package, like what type of clothing and backup food, and then survival tools, however you want to define those. Those are kind of, loose. But you also get a gimmick, which is listed on the following 2 pages. And these are pieces of equipment with very specific mechanical implications, whether it's a grappling gun or a bag of junk used for survival, to having a security back door into an organization.
So it says we get 2 basic or survivor. Can we pick one of each, or
you get no? It's gonna be 2 total.
So it's either 2 basic or 2 survivor. Gotcha.
Yeah, and you also get 1 gimmick from that basic initial package before the variation. That can be anything you want, as long as it's a gimmick, of course. Now, when you mentioned biotics earlier, this is where you'd actually get them.
Like if we were an agent.
Yeah, it only covers them earlier just to mention that they exist, so that when you're going over anthropomorphics, if you go, I kind of want to be, a fish with bionic legs, you can plan that out, as opposed to.
Okay.
But you can get probably 2 basic or survivor. Then
I'm
one.
looking at the survivor gimmicks.
Then one of any type you want.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. That allows me to still do what I was thinking earlier. So for survivor gimmick, wild companion, you have a sizable animal that can aid you in fights. Choose one natural weapon consisting no more than two goo p suitable to your ally. You can use that weapon at a range. A critical hit may injure your companion as a selectable perk for foes, requiring medical attention to help them recover.
Yep. Whenever wherever there's a critical hit, you select a perk from a variety of options. So
I like that.
And one of them can be damaging
Okay.
equipment, which is kind of what this is loosely considered, but probably with much higher emotional stakes.
Yeah. So do we want our cat to have a pet saber-toothed tiger, or
Absolutely, we do. Yes.
I won't tell you otherwise.
I'm putting it down. Wild companion.
all right?
Now the other survivor gimmick I was looking at was
I'll fully admit I have not worked out the saber-tooth cat mutation stats yet.
ooh,
I have
That's
a long list of animals around the world that I am going as a backlog, and then after that is prehistoric.
going to expect that stat block on my desk by the time this episode comes out.
Which will be like the second half of December.
I wouldn't underestimate me on that. I've been trying to do like 3 or so a day, so it adds up.
Oh dang. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Okay.
no pressure, but if you do get around to it, let us know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of weird in Mutants in the Next. A lot of the mechanics for them is actually already set up because there is a wild mutation for getting those kind of incisors.
Ooh, nice.
And I had stuff like a head shield for like Triceratops and whatnot. So a lot of the kind of like dinosaur and prehistoric mechanics have already been poked at, just not formally with new species. Though I do have Velociraptors in the core book, where the whole gimmick is that they brought back Velociraptors, and they're like, well, they're not nearly big enough. They're kind of chicken-sized, so let's tweak their genes to make them bigger. And they got bigger, but mostly they got wider. So they're these chunky-ass dinosaurs.
Okay.
Nice.
They're like, oh, how are we going to market these to the military?
Austin, you said you had a gimmick in mind.
Yeah, the serene locale. You regularly visit a place isolated from humanity that helps you find peace. Now, when we're with the community of other mutants, I think that would be our serene locale, right?
There could be a place there that, yeah, would qualify as that probably. Like, I don't know, our house or something.
Yeah. That's the other one that I was looking at.
Okay. That sounds good to me. And then you said from anything, right?
Yeah, you can get one from any category, whether it's basic, agent.
I don't know that we need anything from, like, agent or escapee, unless you guys want, like, an experimental weapon or something. But what I was thinking is under basic, there's one called Lucky Item. When holding this item in your hand while making a dramatic roll, you have plus D on, it provides one temporary will.
Where plus D is disadvantage.
Okay.
Ooh. Okay.
So what I'm thinking is we said that we were a cat that had a tracker on it. Like we were a wild cat, but someone was tracking and studying us. And that got broken when we mutated. But I think it could be like, you know, one of those things that like it's a reminder of something. And so you hang on to it because it fills you with determination.
I like that. I like that a lot. Of, you know, for backstory purposes and stuff like that. Giving some sentimental value to the, you know, this like one possession from the cat's past life.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning towards like letting you folks work out your decisions. But yeah, it would just be a question of what is that? What is that lucky item?
Like I said, I've already got an idea of what the lucky item could be and what it represents.
Yeah. So that tracker, like maybe it's, I don't know, like, you know, the ear tags that they place on like sheep and stuff.
Right.
It could also be like a bracelet, kind of how they do to various birds.
I think the idea is that it's like a tech-based tracking bracelet. Like someone was keeping detailed records using this thing, but it broke when we mutated.
Gotcha. Okay. Sweet. Is that all for gimmicks?
As long as you have 3 total gimmicks?
Yep.
Correct, we do.
Yep. Okay, then you'll be set, and you're going to the wealth chart next.
Yay.
And you'll have that negative 20% from your package.
So we roll the percentile dice for this.
I put them away because I thought we were done with them, but we're back.
Never done.
Alright. Here we go. Let's roll well. Pooh. That is a 35 minus 20, 15.
So that'll give you decent cash. You have 1d10 times $100 in cash, or easily exchanged valuables. Precious metals, rare coins, old video games, etc.
Or whatever constitutes money in our mutant community.
Or whatever you can quickly turn into money otherwise.
Nice.
10 is 8. That's a lot of cash, actually. $800.
Just having $800. I misread that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little bit that's some nice walking around money.
That's my time in Vegas. Is there a spot for money?
Probably like a wealth section somewhere.
Money and resources, very bottom right, second page.
Aha. $800.
And technically, though we kind of skipped over it, you do have a choice of weapon, which will be listed on...
Oh yeah, that's right. We have the small weapon.
Oh.
And the saber-tooth tiger.
Can't forget that. Okay. Small weapons.
Stun baton.
This is basic baton.
Keep reading.
Oh, it does. A cattle prod. Jeez.
We're from a rural area. We could have just picked one up somewhere. You never know.
That's true. I just pulled it around. Now, what do we think about a light pistol? No, I'm kidding.
Nope, no cat gun. We do not have opposable thumbs.
We haven't modified our cat enough to be able to be worthy to wield the pistol.
Yeah.
And specifically, prototype and explosive weapons are only available if you specifically have a...
And we did not take that.
No rocket launcher.
I feel like we gotta have something that we could wield in our mouth, so I think maybe the basic knife is the way to go.
Yeah.
Or a punch knife.
Yeah, probably so.
What is a punch knife? Like, what is a wind and fire wheel?
It's... Punch dagger is has a handle that goes over your knuckles. Think of it like a brass knuckles, but instead of you having brass, you have this big blade.
Okay. I see these.
Yeah.
I've seen these before.
And wind and fire wheels are like that, except they're kind of like a round circle
with blades on it. Yeah, we got it.
Yeah, similar to Xena's chakram, to pull from one of the few examples.
I think having a wind and fire wheel would be great, because I know this is an audio medium, so I'm going to try my best to explain it. But there is like a handle inside this wind and fire wheel, right?
Right.
What if our cat holds on to that handle with its mouth, and then it has basically this spiked collar that it just runs into people with?
Okay. Yeah, that works. We can flavor it like that.
All right, let's do it. You know, we got to play into the bad boy aspect.
That's what your agent keeps saying.
Yeah.
But it sounds like you got that handle, and that would be the end of equipment. And
yeah, because we didn't get armor.
We've been moving into...
No armor for us.
No armor.
Finally, we're wrapping up.
Yep. You're talking about, of course, naming your character. Also handling things like values. You're going to have 5 values total. And it's open-ended. You can kind of create your own. There are a lot of kind of positive examples. It's suggested that if you have more negative values to talk about with your group.
Okay. And we already have one of them picked for us. It's community.
Right. And then you've got another additional 5.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have 3 values plus the 2 from the...
Right. Our core value, though, is... So we're picking... Is there another spot on the sheet? Because there's not much room up there.
No, not really. But there's... On the sheet, there should be... At the very least, there's the all-purpose leftover box at the end of the second sheet, so...
Okay, well, that might be where we put it. We've got all-purpose leftover box and other notes right next to each other. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Just from these examples, I think freedom would probably be a fitting value.
Yeah.
Self-reliance might be one. Like, I know we got this community, but like...
You're talking about, like, valuing, you know...
the ability to rely on yourself.
Yeah, being able to take care of yourself in times of need. I like that. You know, this is a multifaceted cat.
Yeah.
Yeah, values were kind of the replacement for the more old school alignments. So they're
Gotcha.
what you specifically value and hold up, and that can be crime. I as part of the peripheral group.
Wait, crime is a value?
I mean, crime could be a value. They're open-ended, so if you have like a... Basically, other than that, they should be abstract. They are general attitudes, not specific goals or ideas, so you wouldn't have
Okay.
like...
Loyalty could be a good one.
Yeah, loyalty would probably be a good one. How many have we picked so far again?
If we do loyalty, that'd be 3.
Okay. I do like the idea of maybe not like literally saying crime as a value, but maybe something along the lines of rejection of authority. So, how would you phrase that?
Rebellion?
Rebellion's good. Rebellion donuts.
So that gives us one more.
Competition might be good since we do extreme sports.
Competition, yes, would be really good. A strive to be better.
Okay.
That's all 5.
Okay. Then we go on to contacts. So we would need to know your affinity's prime modifier for that, plus AFF.
Our affinity's prime modifier is +2.
Okay. So you'll get...
One contact.
With that, you look at the table, first contact, 2 skills. And with contacts, page 66 on, there are a variety of tables you can roll on randomly for them.
All right.
I think rolling randomly for contacts would be fun.
Yeah, we'll just make up a random contact. Who cares?
Yep.
We did a lot of targeted creation for the cat, so I feel like this is where we get real wild.
We never used our other 2 redos or takebacks.
Yep, and that will come up during this step to give you a small bonus.
Oh, cool.
Sweet. Okay.
So first, we roll for gender.
Roll for gender.
The gender rolls.
The gender roll. We got a 24, so this is a female.
Name gendering. It's table G2.
Gendered name, non-gendered name, or a counter-gender name. Let's see. We get a 26.
So gendered name. So G4 is a surname, and then G5 would be our feminine given name.
Yep, and that's all on page 67.
Oh, your surname is your last name, right?
Yep.
Yes.
Gotcha. All right, let's roll on G5 first to get our first name.
Okay.
That is a 14. Ashley. That one Ashley that's out there. It's just the one.
I know an Ashley.
I used to know an Ashley.
Yeah, I thought I knew more than one Ashley, but it turns out no, they're all the same person.
Super don't.
I guess if you count the celebrity, then I know of 2 Ashleys.
So for our surname, we got a 65, which gives us Rivera.
Ashley Rivera.
I like that. It's a good name.
Yeah. Primary occupation.
We get dice on the floor.
Happens to the best of us.
I forgot to put that on the chart.
Yeah, it happens.
A thought for the future.
23. Mutants primary background. Check the mutants background and roll on the chart indicated.
Alright, so what is our primary background again?
Our primary background is rural.
Okay, so we roll a rural, that's H4.
H4. 52. 52 is hunter.
And the relevant skill is tracking.
Okay.
And then for their second skill, you would roll on
The hobby table.
H2 hobby.
So that's either going to be the primary background, different background, or...
If you get a 20 and a 0, that's just 20, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, 20.
So it's going to be under
Mutants
primary background again. So we're going back to rural professions.
That is a 69.
Nice. Pro surfing.
Pro surfing. How did we just make the same game?
That's why they get along.
This cat's like, I know a guy. It's my sister.
Well, it sounds like you have some common ground to bound on.
Yeah.
The implication is that the contact is human, but
Yes.
they don't have to be. But yeah, we could just say that this cat met a human named Ashley Rivera while shredding the waves one day, and learned they also had a common ground in hunting and tracking things.
Nice.
Beyond that, we're going to have the secondary attributes back on page 65.
Okay.
And with that, just remember that you had a +1 to your will from way back in backgrounds.
Cool.
Feels like it was so long ago.
It was
recording for quite some time.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is going to be one of our longer ones, probably.
Yep.
There are a variety of traits determined by your attributes. Here are short descriptions of each. Initiative is perception plus speed.
And that's specifically the prime modifiers.
Okay.
Whenever it refers to plus and then 3 letters, that's going to refer to the prime modifier rather than the for.
4 minus 1 is 3.
Defense is 10 plus pro plus prowess plus speed. So 10 plus 3 plus 4 is 17.
17.
Is that so small?
I don't know. We're a tank, though. That's all that matters. Morale is 10 plus debt plus...
Determination plus perception plus resolve?
Resolve you don't have to worry about.
Okay.
Note that most characters don't have resolve, but it's noted here for those that do.
Okay.
It is a special psychic defense.
Gotcha. So we ignored psionics, so we don't have that.
Yeah, there are some animal abilities that'll get it, like the basic cow.
Ooh.
Okay.
So 10 plus 2 minus 1 is 11.
Oh, that's what SHT stands for. Okay.
Oh, superficial harm threshold. Taking glancing blows and avoiding serious harm, SHT.
I saw that come up in the middle of when we were determining our inventory, and I thought it stood for something else because of that.
It's not. I will say I am. There are parts of this game that you can squint out and go, "Is he 13?"
It's Teenage Mutant Ninja tier.
Yeah, it's also me having fun with like the old Palladium where they had structural damage capacity, and other things like that.
Okay.
Like I said, there are more remnants that were from when it was a little more of a direct parody, but I kept them in because I like saying when you're out of SHT.
But the point is, like, it's our endurance plus determination plus 2 for our unused takebacks.
And whatever your size granted you.
Which is on page 37. 6. SHT 13.
Okay. And with the determination endurance, that's the full value of each.
13 plus 14 plus 16.
13 plus 14 plus 16?
Yep.
Plus the 2 unused takebacks, unless you already figured that out.
45.
43. Yep, 45. Okay, up next is hit points. We get endurance times 2 plus unused takebacks.
So endurance was 16 times 2 plus 2. 34.
Durability is high because damage is fairly high in this.
Willpower is up next, right?
Yes.
Yep.
Resource that can be spent to roll plus A as well as a number of other uses. And that is...
Or plus A is at advantage.
Plus determination.
So it's the same as our determination, plus 1 for us, so it's plus 3.
Plus 3.
Yeah.
Contacts.
We already covered that, so... Strength times 10.
Times 10.
Plus the size lift modifier.
Lift mod, which is gonna divide it by 15.
Page 37.
Yep. Alright, I had that buried in my brain from
Just strength times 10.
210. And our lift mod is 115. So 210 divided by 15 is 14.
Is 14?
That's
Wow,
much more
incredible.
reasonable than 210. Let's be real.
That's fair.
Although if we had a size rating of 20,
that's
then we would be multiplying it by 1,000. So,
True.
all right. Anyway,
So much.
But yeah, where size, a lot of the size stuff is kind of exponential. So size of 6 is much smaller than you might think.
makes sense.
Yep.
Move rate. Size rating times 3. Plus speed times 3. 6 times 3.
Yep.
Art.
That's the main stat. So
18
18
or-
times 3 plus 18. That's 72.
Dang.
Yep.
That sounds like a lot. I don't know if it actually is.
We're fast.
It is pretty fast. Yeah. I've seen some ridiculous values come out of that, and people are just like blown away. And it's like, that is actually how fast a lot of animals are. So other than just like coming up with a name, we should be about wrapped up.
All right. So, yeah, we should name and gender the cat. Or does gender actually matter?
Nah, I mean it does. I mean it doesn't matter in any mechanical sense.
Now, here's the thing.
That's-
Gender has no bearing on your abilities.
Yeah.
And I learned that one from Dark Souls.
Well, like one of the decisions I had to make early on was like, does gender matter for species? Because a lot of them have, very much higher differences than humans do. And I was like, if something's becoming humanoid, like a deer having antlers is a much smaller change than getting thumbs.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
All right. So, naming your characters of more subtle importance since it sets their tone and feel. In fiction, the feel of a name often gives cue to character, and finding the right sound can... we could just, roll on the... we could roll on the gender table,
I was thinking.
and then choose a name, either G5, G6, or G7, depending on our result.
I think we should totally do that. Because I was about to suggest that.
Okay.
Alright. First roll.
I don't-
21.
That's female.
Female. Ooh.
I don't think there is a gender spot for the character itself, so we'll just have to know based off the name.
Alright. Name gendering is...
Given name feminine.
91.
Sophie.
Surname?
We don't need one of those.
Get out of here with
We're a
that.
feral
Sophie
cat.
it is. We're a feral cat.
Do we want to name our saber-toothed tiger?
That's a good question.
I think you do. I think that's something you do.
Yeah.
Are we gonna roll for this one too?
Yeah, let's, same thing. Start with gender, and then we'll pick a name based off that.
Dope. 19.
Female.
Female yet again.
Table G5. It's okay.
And we're gonna get a 23 crystal.
Crystal the saber-toothed tiger. Alright. I think that's it.
That is it. Yep.
My gosh. We did it.
We did it.
We made a character.
We made a character.
It was a long journey,
It sure was.
but that's Cat's ready to face the world.
She sure is. Well, thank you for joining us, Julian.
It's interesting. The names you rolled were same as the two I pulled from contributors on the on the second project.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Nice.
Shout out to Sophie and Crystal, who are now immortalized in the Literal Cat podcast as well.
You got double immortalization.
Yeah. Honestly,
Have fun with that.
I am not sure we would have gotten through this without your help in the time that we did, and it still took us a while. So we're glad you were here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was nice to have you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I know it's it's intentionally kind of a extended process, but hopefully once you get through, you're going, oh, I want to play this character now.
Yeah.
So.
That's a common feeling at the end of this show.
Well, who doesn't want to play a cat?
Exactly. Why do you think?
Monsters, that's who.
So anyway, we're here at the end. Julian, is there anything you would like to plug?
Well, the first expansion for this, Mutants in the Next, is out. and I have a special deal on my website for both. You can find all the necessary links at j-k.games. I'm currently working on the first expansion, which is Mutants from the Archives, Pet Shop Blues, which is going to add a lot more cats, a lot more dogs. It's going to be all pet-themed stuff. As a kind of a smaller, shorter supplement, so I can tie folks in between the larger book releases, which can take up to a year to put together. So,
Gotcha.
trying to find ways to fill in those gaps.
Gotcha.
So yeah, other than that, I'm slowly working on Mutants in the Mix, which is going to be basically the system reference document for people who want to make their own hacks and things.
Oh,
like
dang,
that.
that's nice.
Yeah, that was a stretch goal for the Mutants in the next Kickstarter. So definitely going to take me longer than I originally anticipated, but I'm working on it.
If it takes longer, sometimes that leads to things coming out better.
Yeah, and it's been to say this has been an interesting month being alongside the kind of official Ninja Turtles Kickstarter that's been going on. And I think it's been good to see people pass it around as a kind of more modernized alternative that has rules that have been developed since '85. So that's kind of what I'm aiming to do here. I think they're kind of complementary. For folks that like one, they'll probably like the other.
Gotcha. Austin, do you have a cat pun for us?
I do. Maybe I'm trying to think of how to word this specifically, because I have the pun, but I don't have the sentence that the pun is going to go into.
Well, you could throw it out there and we
Yeah.
can workshop it.
Okay. The word I'm thinking of is Meowth, not the Pokemon, but your mouth.
Yeah.
Watch your mouth. That doesn't very. You know what? If you're around family for the holidays, be careful about what you say. Just make sure to watch your meow.
It works. We got there.
All right.
Got it in the end.
Yep.
That's all we needed.